Today, there are 2.4 billion Christians who follow the personal brand of Jesus Christ. And in this video, I'm going to break down 4 branding strategies that Jesus Christ used 2,000 years ago. And at the end, I'm going to share with you one genius persuasion tactic Jesus always used to make people believe in the message of his personal brand. So the first branding strategy is that Jesus had a clear, defined mission. He knew what his purpose was, and he knew what he stands for. And you need to treat your personal brand like a human. There's a study done by Susan Fournier. The study was published in Journal of Consumer Research. You can check it out. And the key insight of the study is that humans interact with people the same way they interact with brands. So you need to create a persona of your personal brand. You need to create the characteristics. What kind of feelings do people associate with when they think about your brand? What do they think about you? You have to have a clear vision of your purpose. What are you here to do for them? How you can help them? And I will share with you one of the most common characteristics most famous leaders have since the dawn of human time. And one of them is they all had a vision. Think about it. Donald Trump, make America great again. Like all great leaders have a vision, something that they're striving for. So people feel inspired to follow them. So you need to have a clear vision. So here are actionables. First, write down all the things that you personally stand for, who you are. Having a brand, a company brand is different. Then you're kind of have to fake it. But with personal brand, all you need to do is ask yourself, okay, who am I truly? What is my mission personally? It's a personal brand. It's not a brand, it's a personal brand. Create a picture of who you are. Write 2 lists. Lists of who you are, and the second list is who you are not. And always stick to that list. Never go out of the borders of that list. Always say, okay, I am disciplined. I am a hard worker. I am kind. I am generous. I'm all these things. And then you can say, okay, I'm not anxious. I'm not lazy. I'm not all these things, all these characteristics I don't want to have. I'm not those. And then what you're gonna do is take a look at that list and write 2 new lists. Number 1 is your brand voice. And number 2 is your brand values. So once you have a clear picture of what kind of person you are, then first write down what do you personally value in yourself and in others. What kind of values you want your community to have, what you're building. Like for example, my own brand values are purpose, God, connection, allegiance, adventure, success, and abundance. And by the way, this is a personal brand template that I give to all of my clients. And if you're a coach or consultant who wants to scale his business with a personal brand, I will leave a link of my Instagram down below. DM me and I will tell you how I can help you. So brand values. First, write down everything that you value. Then create a brand voice. In what kind of voice do you want to express yourself? To express all of those values? What kind of emotions do you want to spark? Here's a bonus trick how you can completely change your life. If you have some kind of characteristic that you don't like about yourself, use your personal brand as accountability partner and change your brand values and who you are and write it down. And even though you're not that kind of person right now, use your personal brand to become that person. So don't just put your current traits and values, but also think about, okay, what potential of my own identity I want to achieve, and write that down as well so you can push yourself to be better. That's what true leaders do. And all these branding strategies wouldn't be effective if you didn't know how to persuade people to believe in you. So make sure to stick till the end, where I will reveal to you the greatest persuasion tactic Jesus used all the time. So let's go back to Jesus. So the second branding strategy is that Jesus built a religious movement, not just an audience. So think about how are your favorite gurus, coaches, mentors, why are they your favorite gurus, coaches, and mentors? What did they do to make you love them? To make you always watch their podcasts, always watch their videos? In my own case, I noticed that the best possible way to make someone be part of your movement, to make someone see you as authority, is to, number 1, shift their beliefs. Write all the limiting beliefs your ICP has and then write the beliefs that they need to believe in order to work with you. And just constantly think of ways how you can shift their beliefs. Now, this is a process. First, you're gonna make them a little bit suspicious about what you're talking about. But the more you talk about, the more they will get programmed. Everyone is programming you. So you do that as well to others and program them to shift their limiting beliefs, bad beliefs, and make them believe in healthy beliefs that will help them become better. The second thing is relatability. People need to relate to your story. At the end of the day, people are selfish. Like, they want to know what's in it for me. The things that you're talking about, what's in it for me? Then, because of that, the relatability that you're talking about, it needs to make them feel good. So tell them, okay, the things that I'm talking about, it's gonna remove all these pains and it's gonna give you and bring you all these positive things. Most people make mistake of talking only about, okay, here's how many good and positive things you're gonna get, but also talk about in your videos, content, marketing, funnels, whatever, also talk about the negative things that are gonna be removed once they work with you. The third branding strategy is Jesus was a true leader. And here are 6 common traits every famous leader had throughout the whole history. The first is strength. They were strong, mentally strong, not just physically strong. Sometimes they were physically strong as well, but mentally strong. Some form of strength they need to have. They bring energy to others. Nikola Tesla says that everything is energy. Everything around us is energy. We either produce energy and give it to others, or we are the source of energy that is positive, or we are all depressed and bring bad energy. So you need to have some kind of strong energy and some strong presence. The third thing is confidence. You need to be confident. You need to talk confidently in what you speak and what you talk about. You always need to be confident. If you don't believe in what you talk about, how do you think that others will believe in what you talk about? Next one is competence. You need to be competent. You need to clearly show that you know what you're talking about and to show the fruits of your labor. The next one, you have to have a track record. Every single famous leader and successful leader had some kind of a track record. They won this much of territories. They successfully made the revolution. They successfully built this kind of business. They successfully did something. They had to do something. They had a hero's journey. They were at the bottom and now they're at the top. You need to have some kind of a track record. Some people think, okay, but I don't have a track record. You do have a track record. Just think about it. Just think about all of your success. Stop thinking about all the lack and all the problems you have and start thinking about all the success you had in life. Think about, okay, what success, even small ones, think about the small success that you had. Start with that. And the more you think about it, the more you'll see it will be revealed to you how many successes you have in life. The big ones and the small ones. And then the last ones, as I mentioned, a vision. You need to have a vision. Simple as that. I don't know which president this was, because I'm not from America. You Americans probably will know this, but there's this one president who had a vision, and I think that's the most impactful thing that he did to become the president. He had a vision to help America go to the moon. That was the vision that helped him tremendously to win the elections. And the next branding strategy, and this is one of my favorite ones, is the branding parasite triggers. So what are the branding parasite triggers? For example, let's say 2 + 2 = 4. All right, look at every element right here. Nothing unusual, 2 + 2 = 4. But if you take this plus right here and take the elements of this plus and just put it a bit differently, this horizontal line, put it a little bit up, what's the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this? A cross. Jesus. Jesus used the branding parasite triggers to always live in your mind rent-free. Every time you see a cross as a symbol, you will think of Jesus. Or when you see a brown bearded man with long hair, think of Jesus. What you need to do with this information is that you need to create triggers in your mind that live rent-free. Branding is also marketing. Nobody's teaching you this. Branding is also marketing. So you have triggers that you build in your audience's mind. And every time they see this trigger through visuals, through auditory system, through touch, through taste, whatever. Be creative. For example, have a catchphrase. And every time they hear something that resembles your catchphrase in their personal life, they will think of you. Always use the same CTA that nobody else uses at the end of your videos, like an outro, also like a catchphrase. Have your theme song. For example, when you hear this song, who do you think of? Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate. It's his theme song. You need to have something that is only a part of your tribe, only part of your community. You need to have something that people who listen to you will say, that's our thing. That's our thing. Yeah, I know what he's talking about. Have an inside joke. Don't overdo it, but have something that is short, that is quick, that doesn't confuse the new viewers, but something that is just a quick catchphrase. Maybe wear some kind of a special glasses, some kind of, I don't know, blue glasses with blue lenses that nobody else has. And every time they see some kind of blue glasses in the mall, they will think of you. Always have these triggers. What makes you unique? And if you can't think of what makes you unique, create something unique about yourself. Dress in a certain way. For example, what Andrew Tate did, he created a persona, a movement to say, of people in suits, cigarettes, Bugattis. When you think of a Bugatti, who do you think of? Andrew Tate. What color is your Bugatti? That's an inside joke. Like, it's so amazing to me how interesting branding and marketing is and how intertwined it is. Marketing makes sales so much easier, but branding makes marketing so much easier. Like all your favorite brands, Apple, McDonald's, have this congruency in their brand, have this clear branding message that they always use. The same fonts, the same colors, the same catchphrases, the same editing styles. Something that makes their consumers remember who they are. And it's never changing. That's why Jesus was so good and was so trustworthy, because he was one and only God, was never changing, and he was worthy of everyone's trust. That should be your goal. I'm not saying that you can always keep up with your brand values. You will sometimes slip, but your goal should be, and your aim should be, to always be the same and to always be in the borders of your brand values, of who you truly are. Stay true to yourself. The persuasion tactic that Jesus has always used to make people believe in him was storytelling. He was always talking in parables, because Jesus at the end of the day knew more about marketing and about the human mind than we do today. And why he spoke in parables is because that he knew what we know today, and what we discovered recently is that the confused mind doesn't buy. It never buys. If somebody's confused, they don't buy. If somebody's curious about something, they will stick to see what you're talking about. But if you say something that doesn't make sense, that they don't understand, then they won't be able to buy. Every time you're talking about something that is complicated, create a metaphor, a story that people can resemble, that people can understand and connect it to that. So Jesus was always talking about the garden, of the law of sowing and reaping, and he was connecting the kingdom of God, something that is very complicated and very confusing and very hard to understand. And he was explaining, okay, the kingdom of God is like this sow that you sow in this garden, and you do this, and then he comes back and here's the big tree now and blah blah. Don't be complicated. Think about all your favorite gurus. At least my favorite gurus are the ones who make complicated things simple. Simplicity will do wonders for your brand. If people resonate simplicity with you, it's end of the story. You will create generational wealth for your family. Generational wealth. Like, it's unimaginable how easy it is once you are able to put in complicated subjects into paper and make them simple. Use the least amount of words, and to people understand what you're saying. Just do that. It will do the marketing for you. So let's go back to stories. I will give you a quick crash course on how to create emotional and engaging stories. Storytelling moves the world. It's what keeps us connected. What made you cry in that movie? Story. What made you connect to the favorite character of your favorite TV show? The story. Their backstory. That's why landing pages, VSLs that have really good storytelling skyrocket the conversions at your networking events. If you have engaging stories, it will do wonders for you. So all of you have a great life story. everyone has a great life story. You just don't know how to tell it in a good way that is engaging and interesting. So here's a framework you can use to make every story interesting. Literally, there's a framework that all your favorite Hollywood movies, books, TV shows use. And this is the framework. This is the Dan Harmon's story circle framework. And this one, I don't know its name, but it's very well known. But I will use both of these pictures to help you become a great storyteller. So every story has this main character, all right? And he always is in some way a relatable character. He's some kind of a geek, or he's a nobody, and then he has this call to an action, call to an adventure, do something. So he's in a comfort zone, just a regular guy, nobody. And then he has this need or a desire, a call to an adventure. And then he goes into this unfamiliar situation. Challenges come, and most of the time there's some kind of a helper or a mentor, like Yoda for Luke Skywalker. Like Yoda comes, and then he teaches him some new strategies, tactics. He teaches him how to lift things and use lightsabers. Then he goes out in the world, and he faces challenges and temptations, and he starts adapting. And then this big revelation comes, this death and rebirth, and this big clash with his arch enemy, and he achieves what he wanted. Now there's some kind of transformation, things are different, and the main character pays a price in some way and gets some kind of a lesson out of that story, all right? And he returns to the comfort zone, change occurs, and that's it. So basically he returns to his old self, doing his old ways, but now he's achieved something, and that's the whole story, the conclusion of the story, and that's the end. So now think of your life. How can you put this life in this framework to make it interesting? Think of all these right here. Screenshot this, and study this. And find these elements in your own story and write. This is an actionable. Like, don't just watch the video, consume and do nothing. Like, watch this video and do something about your business. Write down your life story that is relatable. All right? I hope this helped. May God bless you with success, and I'll see you at the top.